On this episode, fitness for our face, tongue, and vagus nerve. This is the Holistic Alpha Male Optimization Podcast, where we help you unleash your true power as a man. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm Steven Mathis. Thank you so much for being here. It is another gorgeous day in the mountains, late afternoon. Let's talk about fitness for our face, our tongue, and our vagus nerve. Now, hang with me. Let's start with something that you might have seen, you might be familiar with. I know some of you are, at least a few of you, because I've heard from you that you have tried it or are using it. What I'm talking about is one of these guys. There's a few companies making this thing. It is a jaw exerciser, a face exerciser. We're going to talk more about that. This particular company that I got this one from is Jazzercise. There's a few companies at least, I think, making these right now. So you may have seen ads for these on social media. I did. I didn't try it for quite a long time. Eventually I decided to. So that's what I'd like to talk with you about. My experience so far in the early days, why I'm trying this, what I'm getting from it so far, and something that I'm doing, a way that I'm implementing this that I haven't heard anybody else talk about that I think makes perfect sense. So first of all, the basic idea behind these things is this. We have muscles in our jaw, not only our jaw, that's obvious enough, right? So some people use this with the intention that they want to strengthen their jawline. And my impression so far is it absolutely will do that. Of course, you can't see mine with my beard, but I can feel that pump, right? But here's the thing, it's not just in our jaw. We have muscles throughout the entirety of our face, up into our head, around the sides of our head. This thing does an amazing job of exercising those. That's the basic impression that I've gotten, the basic idea. It exercises our jaw, our face, all of those muscles, which does a couple of things. First of all, we got to remember that any muscle needs movement. Every muscle, everywhere in our body, including our heart, they need exercise. And the thing is, with the modern lifestyle, with the kind of foods that we eat, we're not really exercising our jaw. We're not really exercising our face in this way. And so this is kind of one of those adapting to modern society kind of things. Yes, it's a modern invention, but it's also adapting to what is really a modern challenge, a modern problem. So I've been using this thing for about 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and I've loved it so far. I knew within a day or two of trying it that I would stick with it. It has been amazing. I love getting sort of that pump. I actually feel better. You know, that's the thing. When we use muscles like they're intended to be used, they feel better. They feel better. So actually it all feels better, including one of the questions that I had before I tried this was I've struggled with pain and tension in my jaw. I suppose you could call it TMJ to some degree, but pain and tension in my jaw, trouble opening my jaw all the way. Those are things that I've had on and off throughout my life. And so I wondered, how is this going to affect it? Is it going to make it worse? On the contrary, it's actually made it better. Not only does that entire area of my face and jaw feel better, I can open it more widely now, more comfortably than I could before, which makes perfect sense because the muscles are healthier. Now, let's talk about one of the things that I don't hear anybody talking about this really. As it relates to this, I do hear these discussions and see these discussions going on separately, but not really combined. Here's what I'm talking about. Our tongue. The posture of our tongue is very, very important. Our tongue is a critical muscle for a number of reasons. One of the ways that our tongue is very, very important is maintaining a proper airway, especially while we're sleeping. Sleep apnea and a lot of the challenges that people have with sleep, not all of them, but a lot of them are rooted in weak tongues. What happens is the tongue falls back and it blocks the flow of air. Very, very important to have a strong tongue for that reason. And by the way, I don't know, you probably aren't really hearing a lot of people talk about having a strong tongue. If you follow sort of certain people, which I'll put one of those in the links, one of those links in the show notes for today, somebody that you'll want to check out as it relates to this tongue posture thing and a lot of this. But you probably don't hear a lot of people talking about the importance of tongue posture and strength, but we ought to be because it's very important and fundamental. Here's the other way that is very important is our vagus nerve. So our vagus nerve is part of our autonomic nervous system, meaning it is part of our nervous system that runs various aspects of our body completely outside of conscious control. So our vagus nerve regulates things like our heart rate. It regulates how organs function. As you can imagine, these are very, very important things. There are a number of ways to activate, or what they call tone, our vagus nerve. So we have better vagal tone, which essentially just means the nerve is functioning better, more effectively. It's stronger, right? That's the idea. There's a number of ways to do that, chanting and all kinds of things that sort of activate this part of your body. But one of those is your tongue. Your tongue acts as sort of this bridge between your conscious mind and that autonomic nervous system as it relates to your vagus nerve. So the stronger our tongue is, the more that it maintains that seal on the top of our palate against the roof of your mouth, which is where it ought to be while we're sleeping, throughout the day while we're nasal breathing. The more that we maintain that posture, the better our body is going to function. There is a deep, deep rabbit hole that you can go into on this stuff if you would like to. Again, I'm going to post a link to one doctor that I would recommend checking out as a starting point if you're interested in diving more into this tongue posture thing. Here's the reason I mention it. The basic idea behind these jaw face exercisers is you do this, right? And I know if you're just listening in audio, you can't see me, but I'm just squeezing this thing in between my teeth, right? It's biting down on. But we can get more bang for our buck, significantly more, when we exercise our tongue at the same time. So what I have been practicing with this is holding my tongue strong against the roof of my mouth throughout the set as I do reps of these. So here's what I'm doing. When I go for my morning walk, I take this with me and I do 5 sets of as many reps as I can, pushing, and I am progressively raising that number, but not going absolutely crazy. 5 sets. And as I do that, I'm holding my tongue on the roof of my mouth strongly throughout that entire range of motion. So when it gets to the wider range of motion, that is almost like this extra resistance, this extra force that is required to keep the tongue on the roof of the mouth. So it is exercising the entirety of our face, our jaw, our throat, and our tongue in one simple thing. I do 5 sets of this, you guys, on a 10-minute walk or a 15-minute walk. And the part that I do this only takes 5 or 6 minutes. It takes hardly any time at all. And I have seen already a good payoff from this, enough that I'm absolutely going to continue doing it. I will let you know how it works. You may see some changes, who knows, as the months go on, right? If I continue getting stronger in the face, I'll let you know what my experience is and what I feel. I would recommend that you check these out. One of the things that I can tell you is that when I do this on my walk, it is significantly more invigorating and energizing than if I was just walking. And that might be simply exercising the jaw and the face. There's a lot of emotional sort of connection there. It might be the vagus nerve activation. It's probably a combination of both. But I can tell you that when I go for a walk with this, and I do those 5 sets, it's so simple and it's so easy. When I do that, I am significantly more energized and invigorated. It feels awesome. I'm loving this thing so far. My entire jaw, face, everything feels healthier and better. My tongue feels stronger because I'm incorporating that part. Again, you probably will not hear other people talking about it as it relates to this, right? They're being talked about separately. I don't really understand why the people recommending these aren't recommending the tongue exercise at the same time. I think we ought to be. Seems like we get more bang for our buck that way. So try these. They're not expensive. Again, this one is a company named Jawzrsize. I have no connection with them whatsoever. There are other companies that offer these things. My one recommendation would be, as always, check reviews, basic stuff like that. I would also check to make sure that they don't have some kind of toxic ingredients, because if you order some random, made in China kind of deal off of Amazon, you very well may be chomping on some real gnarly toxic ingredients. So be a little careful with that. But otherwise, it's not a very complex product. I think there's probably a few companies that are making a good version. I would recommend checking it out. I would love to hear what you think. If you're on Spotify, I'm going to post a poll below this episode. Just scroll right down on the episode page, and I would love to hear from you. Have you tried this? Have you been using it for a while? Are you just trying it now? Would you consider trying it? Let me know sort of where you stand on this thing, because I have a feeling there's actually more of you guys that have at least tried this or maybe have started using it recently than a lot of people realize, because I'm hearing from a pretty good number of guys that is the case. So give it a shot. As always, I'm sending you all my best. Have an amazing rest of your day. Go out and find some nature if you can. It doesn't matter if it looks like this or not. Could be a city park. Get your feet on some grass. Get connected with the earth. It matters. I support you guys. Go kick ass. We'll talk with you soon.